Now, with an important alert about the term stranger danger, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is renewing their push for parents to use a different approach to keep your kids safe. TJ Holmes has a closer look and an experiment.
Hey, your mom sent me to get you.
Who are you?
Many of us grew up watching PSAs like these,
Come on.
No!
showing the potential threat commonly taught for decades as stranger danger.
It's so easy, it rhymes, right? It's just this one phrase blanket statement.
The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children wants to put an end to the phrase.
We know how kids are being abducted, when they're being abducted, and stranger danger just doesn't fit that model.
For one, a child is much more likely to be harmed by someone the child knows, and many children don't fully understand the concept of a stranger and associate strangers with mean-looking people. And
Oftentimes, kids are in a situation where they will need to reach out to a stranger for help.
so we enlisted Callahan Walsh to help us design an experiment in an auditorium with 10 children from Central Elementary School in Haddonfield, New Jersey, all familiar with stranger danger.
You should never trust them. If they keep following you, you just want to run.
We hired 4 actors to play a range of roles set in a make-believe grocery store. A mom with a baby, a security guard, a store clerk, and an average Joe. According to Walsh, 3 of the 4, the mom, the guard, and the clerk, all come with identifiable signs, a baby, a badge, and a name tag that signify a safe adult. But in a dire situation, a child should feel empowered to reach out to any of these strangers for help. But would they?
Now let's pretend you're in a store shopping with your mom or your dad, and you turned around and they weren't there, and you couldn't find them. What would you do?
Meanwhile, I'm backstage with 10 sets of parents.
Do you think she would know what to do if a situation came up?
Yes, but I don't know what she would do under pressure.
This mother with kids here, with this pushing the stroller.
No.
Nope, not talk to her. See, take a look behind you. Is he somebody that you might talk to?
No.
No? Nope. What about the mother with kids here?
No.
Is that somebody you might talk to?
Yeah.
You would? This average guy over here, kind of the average Joe. No? Not really? Was that somebody you would talk to?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah?
At the end of our experiment, for the most part, the children were not comfortable reaching out to strangers in a time of crisis. But the person they deemed most approachable, the store clerk.
Maybe like a store clerk with a name tag. Would that be somebody you might go to?
Yeah.
What about this woman over here?
Yeah.
You would talk to her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are times a kid needs to talk to a stranger, but there are also some times you need to stay away from a stranger. What are those times?
It's when a child is approached by an adult. Children should always be taught to say no to an adult that approaches them.
The lessons learned by the parents.
I think reinforce that he should talk to the store clerk.
It gives me something to talk about with him and with my other children.
Not every stranger is a dangerous person. There are people you can ask for help.
And we are joined now by TJ and Callahan Walsh, a child advocate for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And TJ, I want to start with you. I mean, we're both parents, and losing a child it would just drive us insane. But if you lose a child, their natural instinct is to come find you. But the experts say that's not what you should do.
It's not always the best case. We want them to stay put. And what you didn't see in that scenario, some of those kids are independent, right? I mean, I've met your girls, you met my daughter, some of them got a little independence in them. They want to figure it out on their own. So I don't know that guy, I don't know that guy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to head on outside. And some of these kids wanted to go outside and wander around and try to find their parents. So that's where the stranger danger could be an issue if you're so turned off by the idea of a stranger that you look for another option, and some of those options are bad.
And let's go back to the term of trusted adult. You know, a lot of these kids, as we saw, they're confused about who to trust.
Absolutely. So parents should teach their kids to look for identifiable markers when looking for these trusted adults, like a security guard with a badge, or a name tag on a clerk, or even a mother with kids.
All right. And when should you talk to your kids? When should be your first conversation, you feel, Callahan, about this?
Well, it's never really too early to start, but around the preschool age is really when they can start grasping some of these concepts. But it's important to make sure you don't overwhelm or scare children. Simple messaging is easy, but that messaging changes over time, and that's why it's important to have ongoing conversations with your kids about safety.
And your daughter's at that age. Have you had the conversation yet?
No, she's 4, and I wonder, can you make them too friendly? because I'm an outgoing guy. We walk down the street, everybody's nice. I'm talking to everybody, and I let her know. She talks to police officers all the time, always say hi. But can you start them too early to be too friendly and too outgoing to a certain degree?
Well, that can be the problem sometimes. Some kids don't understand what the concept of a stranger is. They think a stranger is someone who's only mean or ugly looking, when it could be anybody, right? I mean, just because they're buttoned up and they look nice, that's still a stranger to that child. So, they need to look for these identifiable markers. If they're, in an emergency, they might need a stranger's help, if they're in a case like this.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is just a conversation that parents need to have with their kids, and I guess it's never too young to start.
Absolutely.